Welcome to the Divorce the IRS Podcast, the retirement income planning podcast designed specifically for those who want to pay the least amount of taxes possible and build a retirement income that lasts. Inspired by the best-selling book, Divorce the IRS, you get to go behind the scenes with financial planner, author, and speaker Jimmy Miller. Learn how to set yourself up to pay the least amount of taxes in retirement when you'll need your money the most. And now, here's your host, Jimmy Miller.
Welcome to episode 32 of the Divorce the IRS Podcast. Today, we will look at our third and final case study. This one involves your ideal number and what to do if you're going to be receiving a taxable pension in your retirement. So let's dive right in. Now, although pensions are becoming increasingly rare, especially in the corporate sector, there are still those who will receive a lifetime pension in retirement. These people usually work for the federal or state government or the military. Now, pensions are great and are an amazing income benefit that produces an income in retirement that you, and usually your spouse, can't outlive. This is a real benefit, and as a financial planner, it's always great to see this benefit in someone's plan. Pensions usually reduce the overall risk in a retirement income plan because the more guaranteed income in a plan provides for stable income bases for people, especially on top of Social Security benefits. Pensions can also have a few problems, though, or drawbacks. One I see often is that many pensions provide only a flat monthly income that doesn't go up over time to keep up with inflation. This may not sound like that big of a deal, but in a 30-year, two-person retirement plan these days, your money or income will lose about half of its purchasing power over that time. Being able to purchase less and less with your income each year as everything gets more expensive can be a real problem in a good retirement income plan, and it needs to be addressed. Just imagine living today on what you earned 25 or 30 years ago, and you'll understand. Another problem with most pensions is that the cost to make sure your spouse is also covered by the pension can be very expensive. As a rule of thumb, most pensions will offer varying amounts of spousal benefits or protection. This is so that if the person receiving the pension were to pass away first, the remaining spouse would continue receiving some or all of the pension benefit. In most pensions, there is a cost for this protection, and it's usually somewhere around 10% of the monthly benefit. This can become even more expensive should the spouse not receiving the pension die first. In most cases, the pension will stay reduced by that 10% cost even if there is no one else left to protect. This can add up to a lot of money over a long retirement period for a benefit that may never be utilized. Yet another problem with pensions, and the one that is most relevant to divorcing the IRS, though, is that they're almost always fully taxable income. They come from a tax-deferred bucket and are also considered provisional income. Some pensions, especially for teachers, firefighters in some states, as well as some police officers, replace their Social Security benefits. And the problem with this, which many people don't factor into their retirement income plan, is that 100% of their benefits may be taxable, whereas only up to 85% of Social Security benefits can be taxed. This means if your pension income will be higher than your standard deduction, it will be impossible to avoid all tax in retirement and to divorce the IRS. If your pension income will be less than your standard deduction, it may still be possible to pay no tax in retirement, although this will depend on the amount of your Social Security benefit because of provisional income, which we discussed in episode 13. Knowing you will have a pension in retirement should cause a shift in your planning. Since you will have guaranteed income every month from the pension that will go against your standard deduction and be considered provisional income, your ideal number, or the amount you should have in your tax-deferred bucket, will be reduced considerably. When your pension is equal to or larger than your standard deduction, your ideal number will always be $0 in your tax-deferred bucket if you want to divorce the IRS or get as close to divorcing the IRS as possible. This makes the strategies in this podcast even more important to those who will receive a pension one day. The government has helped a little bit with planning for the situation by introducing the Roth TSP, or Thrift Savings Plan account, available now to all military and most federal employees who may receive a pension one day. This account works just like the Roth 401k. Another recent change that was welcomed in the TSP was the ability to convert any money you may have in the traditional pre-tax TSP program to the Roth TSP program while you're still employed. The minimum amount you are allowed to convert is $500 each time you convert, and you do have to pay the taxes created by the conversion from outside funds. You can't use any of the conversion money to pay the tax bill it creates. It's also possible once you're no longer employed by the agency offering you the TSP to roll over your traditional TSP into an IRA. You can then convert that money into a Roth IRA and pay the taxes due as well. If you know you'll receive a pension in retirement, the key is to work with a financial planner to understand if your income will be higher than your standard deduction and how that impacts your ideal number. Then form a plan to shift your money into Roth IRA or Roth TSP if necessary, so you will pay the minimum taxes due in retirement. There is a free calculator you can use to figure out your ideal number, which includes and factors in any pension benefits you might receive one day on the Divorce the IRS website at divorce-the-irs.com. Jump over there, run the calculation, and learn what your ideal number is. Remember, your ideal number is the amount of money you should currently have in tax-deferred accounts so that you can still take advantage of your standard deduction in retirement and divorce the IRS. I hope the case studies in these 3 podcast episodes show that however close you are to the finish line of retirement, you have options to reduce the amount of taxes you or your heirs will pay. It's even possible to divorce the IRS completely, paying $0 in tax over the span of your retirement, if you plan properly for it and don't have a pension that's too large. In the next episode, we'll dive into some strategies and benefits that Americans overseas or expats can consider when planning to divorce the IRS. If you've ever thought about working in another country or working remotely from overseas, you probably want to be aware of some of these planning opportunities that might be available to you. So stay tuned for that episode.
Want even more ideas, tools, and resources on how to navigate your financial life? Check out all the resources on the Divorce the IRS website at divorce-the-irs.com or the Baobab Wealth website at baobabwealth.com, and subscribe to the blog to stay up to date on issues affecting retirement income planning. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Baobab Wealth and Baobab Wealth Abroad are DBAs of Baobab Wealth LLC, a Florida registered investment advisor. This podcast is designed for general education purposes only and shouldn't be taken as legal, investment, or tax advice. You should seek out a qualified tax professional or licensed financial advisor to determine what is best for your personal situation.